Picture this. You're sitting by a fire 100,000 years ago, and you start to cry. Not because you're hurt, not because something's chasing you. Just life gotta be too much, and your eyes started leaking salt water down your face. That's a strange thing for a body to do. Tears don't fight off predators. They don't keep you warm. They don't help you run faster or see better in the dark. If anything, crying makes your vision blurry and your nose run at exactly the moment you might need to pay attention. So why didn't evolution kill this off a long time ago? For 99.9% of human history, there was no privacy, no bedroom door to close, no, I just need a minute. If you cried, someone saw it, someone heard it, and that single fact might be the whole reason crying is still with us today. The answer changes the way you'll think about every tear you've ever cried, including the ones you cried alone. Let's go back. All the way back. 100,000 years ago, you're not living in a house. You're living in a small group, maybe 20 or 30 people, and you basically never leave their sight. You eat with them, sleep near them, walk with them. Privacy, as a concept, doesn't exist yet. Now imagine you're hurt, not physically, emotionally. Someone you loved just died, or you got left behind during a hunt, or you're just exhausted and scared and you don't know if there's enough food for winter. What happens to your body? Your throat tightens, your breathing gets uneven, and then, without deciding to, your eyes fill up and start to spill over. Here's the part that's easy to miss. This isn't something you're doing. It's something happening to you. You can't will yourself to cry on command the way you can fake a laugh or fake a smile. Try it right now. Try to produce real tears just by deciding to. You can't. Almost nobody can. That's actually the whole point. Think about every other signal humans send each other. A scream can be performance. A laugh can be polite, fake, forced through a bad joke. Even a flinch of pain can be exaggerated for sympathy. Humans are good at faking emotional signals when it benefits them, but tears are involuntary. They're the one signal your body won't let you counterfeit. And in a world with no privacy, where everyone around you is constantly reading everyone else for threat, exhaustion, hunger, sickness, an honest signal is incredibly valuable. If your group could trust that your tears meant real distress, they could act on that information immediately, without wondering if you were faking it for attention or to get out of work. So picture it again. You're crying by that fire. The people around you don't see weakness. They see information. Real, unfakeable information. That something in their group needs attention right now. That's the baseline. That's where this starts. But knowing tears are honest doesn't explain why other people would care. Caring costs something. Helping someone costs time, food, energy you could have spent on yourself. So there has to be more to this than just tears are honest. There has to be a reason the people around the fire actually respond. Here's where it gets interesting. Crying doesn't just signal distress. It does something to the people watching it. It changes them, almost against their will. The same way crying itself happens against your will. Picture two scenarios. In the first, someone in your group is angry at you. Maybe you took more than your share of food. Maybe you said something careless. They're standing there, jaw tight, about to say something sharp. In the second scenario, that same person sees your face crumble. Tears start. Your voice breaks. Something shifts in them. The anger doesn't fully disappear, but it gets harder to act on. There's a pull to soften, to step closer instead of further away, to ask what's wrong instead of pushing the attack. This isn't a coincidence, and it isn't really a choice either. Watching someone cry pulls at something automatic in the observer. It's hard to stay aggressive towards someone who's visibly breaking down in front of you. Crying acts almost like a built-in ceasefire signal. Not a request for one, an automatic one. Now think about what that would mean 100,000 years ago, where conflict inside your small group could be genuinely dangerous. You depend on these people for food, for safety, for survival through winter. A fight that escalates too far could fracture the group at exactly the wrong moment. Anything that de-escalated conflict before it spiraled would have been incredibly useful to keep around. Crying did exactly that. It interrupted aggression. It pulled people in instead of pushing them away, and it did it without language, without negotiation, without anyone having to think it through. But there's a second layer here, and it's just as strange as the first. Crying doesn't just stop other people from attacking you. It pulls them toward you. Watching someone cry creates an urge to physically close the distance, to step closer, put a hand somewhere, sit down next to them. That's not something you'd expect from a stress signal. Most distress signals push people away. A scream sends people running from danger. Crying does the opposite. It draws people in. So now picture the fire again, except this time picture everyone else around it. You cry, and one by one, without much thought, people drift closer. Someone sits beside you. Someone puts a hand on your back. Nobody had to be told what to do. Their bodies just responded to yours. That response, the drift toward proximity, the softening, wasn't something the group learned. It's wired in. And here's the detail that makes this whole thing click into place. Babies are born already able to cry before they can do almost anything else. A newborn can scream and produce real tears within days of being alive, long before they can smile on purpose, long before they understand a single word. That's not a skill they pick up. That's a default setting, installed before birth. Because for nearly your entire species' history, your survival as an infant depended entirely on someone hearing that cry and coming, which means crying isn't really about you releasing an emotion. That's the part we usually focus on, the letting it out feeling. But for almost all of human history, the actual function of crying was about other people. It was a tool for pulling help toward you in a world where help was the only thing standing between you and not making it through the week. You cried, and the fire's circle got smaller. People moved in instead of away. That's what tears were built for. Now fast forward, all the way to right now, to you. Same tear ducts, same chemistry, same involuntary trigger. None of that has changed in 100,000 years. Your body still does exactly what it did by that fire. But almost everything around the crying has changed. You don't live in a group of 20 people who see everything you do. You might live alone. You might cry in a car, in a bathroom with the door locked, in bed at 1 a.m. with your phone face down, so the light doesn't give you away. The fire's gone, but so is the circle of people who used to drift toward it. And here's the part nobody really talks about. Crying alone doesn't do what it evolved to do. The signal still fires. The tears still come. But there's no one there to receive it. No one to drift closer. No hand to land on your back. You're running ancient software built for an audience. Except the audience left the room a long time ago. That's not a flaw in you. That's a mismatch between a 100,000-year-old reflex and a world that built itself around privacy, distance, and closed doors. It gets stranger. A lot of us were also taught, somewhere along the way, that crying is something to suppress, especially in public, especially in front of people who might judge it. So now you've got a built-in signal whose entire evolutionary purpose was to be seen, and a culture that often tells you to hide it as fast as possible. Imagine showing that to someone by the fire 100,000 years ago. Imagine trying to explain that there are entire buildings, entire jobs, entire first dates where the unspoken rule is, if you start crying, leave the room. They'd have no framework for that. Crying without witnesses wasn't a situation their lives prepared them for, because it almost never happened. So what do we do with a signal built for a circle of people, when most of our crying happens behind a closed door? Some of it shows up in strange substitutes. People cry to pets who can't fully respond the way another human would, but who at least don't leave the room. People cry on the phone instead of in person, getting a version of the response, a voice, some words, without the physical presence that the reflex is actually built for. People cry in therapy, paying, essentially, to recreate the one condition crying always assumed would be there for free, someone witnessing it. None of that is wrong. It's just evidence of how hard the body is working to find something close to what it was built for in a world that mostly doesn't offer it anymore. So go back to that fire. One more time. You're crying. The people around you don't see a problem to fix or a performance to judge. They see information their bodies already know how to respond to, instantly, without thinking. They move closer. Someone sits beside you. The distance closes before anyone says a single word. That response is still in you, right now. exactly as it was then. Every time you've cried in your life, at your desk, in your car, in a bathroom with the door locked, your body was still sending out that same 100,000-year-old signal, hoping someone would drift closer. We didn't lose the reflex. We lost the circle around the fire. And maybe that's the real reason a cry that gets witnessed feels different from one that doesn't. It's not in your head. It's not weakness, and it's not drama. It's just one of the oldest systems you have. Still running, still waiting for someone to notice and move in.